What up, Blue Jays? Sean Blue here. This one is about the way we talk. In this day and age, we're so politically correct and we're so freaking weird now. It's not even about being politically correct. It's not about being polite to one another. That has nothing to do with it. It's just about being weird now, about how we talk to each other and talk about each other like with transgenders and stuff like that. There's so many different types of transgenders. I'm a she, he, or he, she, or that or that. All this like weird freaking shit. But to be perfectly honest, this is something that didn't just pop up 5 years ago, like just out of the blue. And we should be like angry about how like we have to talk now about transgenders and about gay people and stuff like that. But to be perfectly honest, it came before that. I can recall us being upset, maybe white people being upset about calling black people African Americans. And I don't know when African Americans first started using the word African Americans instead of black people, but that's been going on for at least 20 years because I can recall like 20 years back how white people feel like they have to start referring to black people as African Americans, and how some people were really upset about that. So before we should start attacking, hey, what's with all this like goofy like transgender stuff now? To be perfectly honest, it started with the word African American, started with that like kind of like phrase, and like I said, that goes back like 20 years, and it just gradually got to this weird point of like language about how like everything is offensive and all this, and we have to change the way we talk in all this weird ways and stuff. And also at the same time, what is with all these like transgenders now? Everybody is like something. We're either gay or a transgender or we're autistic. It's like one of those three things now. Everybody has like at least one of those three things now. And it's just like getting like more and more bizarre. It's like, yeah, like how did we come from like the 50s and like the 60s, like like the movie Sandlot, like that takes place in the 60s. How did we come from that all the way to this where boys are now being forced to dress like girls and all this like weird stuff like that, and how everyone seems to be gay now? It's just like really strange. Like, why is that? Why were the 50s like this, and the 60s were like this, and the 70s were like that, and the 70s for the most part were like the 50s, instead of like kids having flat tops in the 50s, kids in the 70s just like 20 years later have like long hair and stuff. That's about as different as it got. But like now in this day and age, and same with the 90s was very similar to the 70s, just like little differences here and there. But now it's like really bizarre. And I just don't get what's going on. And it's more than just like, oh, fashion, like, oh, these black jackets are popular, or this blue baseball cap is like popular, or something, weird like that. Or I'm wearing like a purple hat or something, like, different like fashion statements. No, it's not about that. And it's not about the type of music we listen to. It's about like something else weird going on. And I don't completely understand it. And I don't think you guys do too, but it's just something we have to start pointing out. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Peace out, Blue Jays.